Hey, welcome everyone to the Magic of Bodies podcast. This is episode 1 with Chelsea Gibson and Matt Bochsler. Hello, Chelsea.
Hello. Thank you all for coming.
Yes. Really excited to do this podcast. We've been looking forward to actually doing it for a while. And there's some special qualities that we both have that are very different. But I'd love to tell you a few of them that I really enjoy about Chelsea. First of all, I'll use this finger. First of all, she's super funny. Hello. And she will laugh at anything. And in my book, that's really important, especially when you got a lot of judgments about you, yourself, or your body. So thank you, Chelsea. Secondly, she's a world-known healer, and a zillion other things, and she knows 12 different modalities of different types of energy and body work, and has been working for years in the St. George area in Canada. And I just want to give her a big round of applause for being on the show with me. Yay!
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome. I feel pretty honored. Yeah, and lucky. That's a good word. Honored's kind of big. So many letters.
Honor does feel big.
Right?
So yeah, I guess I should introduce Matthew here. As you can tell, a potent and dynamic kind of fellow. I've been honored because he is really, really good at making things happen really, really fast. So I'm inviting you to come play because if you want anything changed and you want it really fast, he can help you do that like that.
Wow. How many different ways can they take that?
So, and in particular with his Access Consciousness classes, because he's a facilitator, he'll be able to help you and facilitate you and everything else that he has to share with you.
Thank you. Yeah. I've been an Access Consciousness facilitator going on, I'd say it's 3.5 years, maybe 4, and loved it. Spent a lot of time in the last 20 years, starting with good old standard CMT certified massage therapist back in my teens, and all the way up to now is just an acknowledgement that, man, there's so much more that's possible with bodies, and just been ravenous since then, eating up everything I can to help other people have some ease and joy and playfulness with their bodies, which are really your primary life partner you've been looking for your whole life, right?
Yeah.
Duh.
It's true.
Yeah. So, well, let's get started. Chelsea, what's our introduction topic for our podcast tonight?
Well, we wanted to start, because we're talking about bodies, we kind of wanted to start talking about touch. And we made a couple jokes about, are you ready to touch yourself?
Right.
We could make it, no pun intended, maybe. And we wanted to talk about different types of touch, the way we touch ourselves, the way we touch others. Are we touching it with judgment? Are we carrying with it all of the projections and all the expectations that we have on our body? Or would you rather a different kind of touch? Are you looking for something maybe more nurturing or kind to your body? How does your body want to be touched? So yeah, get ready to touch yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Who would like to touch yourself in a way that you never have before that creates more communion with you and your body? Anybody? You guys in the back row over there on the couch? I see you. Okay. By the way, anyone who is on the call, you can chat and you can send us questions, notes, or comments, and we would love to actually hear from you. And if you actually have some content that you'd really like to talk about, you can send us your email there, and we will send you a link to join in live so you can actually talk on the call with us.
How much fun could you have on the phone with these two goofs?
Exactly. And I see we have Susan, Louisa, and Galnia on. Galnia, did I get that? Yeah, I believe so. If I didn't, I'm sure I'll be corrected. And but yes, if for any reason you'd like to be on, I have an invite as speaker button. You just have to put your hand up or shoot a little text out. And I will give you a little bit here as I'll write an email to everyone. Hi, everybody. Hey, in my really masculine voice. Okay, there we go. So everyone, where you see where you see that little text chat room. You can, at any time you'd like, you can actually click on that and we can bring you in. Or you can send us a text question. So, Chelsea, let's talk more about bodies and touching. I love it.
Talking about touching.
Talking about touching.
Talking about touching. I don't know. It was so funny. I had a client the other day, and she was talking about the way that she touches her body, especially in the mirror. Like, she said that she kind of looks at it and does this thing to herself, and oh, I don't like that, and oh, I don't like that. She does that kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God. Imagine if some stranger walked up to you from down the street and just started touching you like that. Yeah, you wouldn't have it. So I asked her, like, why do you take it from you then? And what else is possible for you to touch and play with your body?
Sure.
Kind of what sparked it for me.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really valid and important point. I mean, sometimes it seems really hard to even think back 10, 20, 30, 40 years for a lot of people, but even thinking back to high school, which for me was 27, it's hard for me too. I think it was 28 years ago, 29, maybe 30 years ago. And anyway, back then I do remember that there was a significant difference between the way people thought about their bodies. There was the handsome guys and the pretty girls, and then the rest of the norm, which was, 2% to 99%. But in a nutshell, everybody loved to play a lot more than they do now in my world. So how much more do we actually judge ourselves to the point where it's actually creating this space where we can't actually touch our bodies? And when I say touch, I'm going to bring a whole nother level to everything Chelsea's brought to the table already. When I touch my body, it's really when I'm willing to expand into it and be totally conscious of the awareness it is as, this very cool configuration of molecules in a skin bag, right?
You make it sound so magical.
I know. Chelsea, did I tell you how much I love your skin bag?
That's a good looking skin bag you got there.
Your skin bag. What does that bring up for you? Huh? Right? Does it just make you want to get with me or something else? Yeah, it makes you want to do something else. You're like, oh my God, I'm just this bag of ugliness. I don't want to touch myself. I don't want anyone else to touch me. And I'm just going to stay, as Chelsea said, in front of the mirror until maybe if I poke and prod myself enough, it'll change. So anyone in our studio audience, have you poked and prodded yourself or had someone else do it? Where it actually made you more beautiful and judge yourself less? I'm getting a big no. Pretty quiet out there. Okay. So with that in line, Chelsea, when you're talking about touch, what do you mean when you touch yourself or you touch someone else?
It was funny because I started doing almost like touch healing therapy. I was a kid. I was little. Like we're talking about, 4 years old. And my dad said that I had this kind of awareness of where he was sore in his body. And I would go up to him and go, oh, Daddy, it's okay. I heal you. And I'd go and touch him on, say, his shoulder that just needed some care, or maybe his back was sore, or maybe I just needed to touch and rub his back. And as a kid, just having the awareness that somebody's body was asking for a particular kind of touch, and then being willing to trust it, so trust myself and my own awareness, and then just touch it with their permission, of course. I don't know if I want to tell people just go touching people's bodies, but I think when I'm talking about touch, it's about that nurturing care that is the key to bodies. I don't know if any body that I've ever interacted with ever wanted me to touch it in judgment. Most of my clients can appreciate coming in for a session, and it's just like the most gentle touch. And it's just warm, and it's cozy, and it's like a hug. Just allowing your body to kind of relax, and it kind of expands and lets go. Like a really good hug. Like a really, really, really good hug. If you touch yourself with that care and that no judgment and the nurturing, kind of like nice touch, almost like you pet a cat. like everybody pets a cat so nurturing. So would we be willing now to touch ourselves in that way or pet ourselves in that way or maybe a loved one in that way with all of that nurturing and caring and kindness just for the sake of touch, not because of I'm
Right.
touching.
Well, that's a great question. What if you have, well, if I was a person that came to you, Chelsea, and I just had no idea what you're talking about. I spent most of my life working on a farm, let's say, and most of the time I was sitting on a tractor, just for example, and I didn't have any role models or anything to actually show me what that would look like. And perhaps my family didn't do much touch. Maybe they were an integrity family where everybody makes sure that you take care of yourself and you never bother anybody or something like that. What would you ask them that could be catalytic for them to step into that space of wondering, wow, what would it be like to touch so intimately and consciously and aware? What question would you use?
Oh, I love it. Math does this to me where he does these little, he just throws me this little ball and I'm like, I got the ball. What do I do with the ball? I was doing it often with him. A lot of the time, you almost have to show people, like if you're the type of person that's looking for that, where else have you seen it in the world? As a practitioner, I've actually done it for people. I've taken their hand. Hands are fabulous. If anybody wants to try practicing hands, love hands. See that? It's just like the most caring, kind, natural, fun, loving touch in the whole world. And that's all it is. It's so fun. It's just, you're just touching your hands, but you're not like, almost like you would, you wanted the softness and the gentleness as if you're touching a baby, but with that nurturing and care, maybe a little sexualness like an adult. So that you're being that catalyst for yourself. And then all of a sudden you can extend that just from like your hand to all of a sudden now I'm going to put on my moisturizer and I've got all the care and all the love for my body in the whole world. Thank you for existing, body. With putting on moisturizer. So you can make moisturizer putting on fun.
So you're saying you'd bring them to a place where they'd actually have some gratitude and just like, wow, how cool is it that I have a body of my own? I thought everyone else's were cool, but I've got my own. And I mean that in all seriousness and with a healthy helping of comedy. But how many times have you acknowledged, especially when you're in the throes of, oh my God, I'm so ugly today, which I'm sure happens for somebody out there, that you are an individual being with a body that you've chosen. It's kind of like your herd animal or your it's all yours. This is your ultimate primary life partner. And if it was missing a leg, wouldn't you just ask, well, what else is possible? What else can we do? We want to have fun. Or would you go hide in the corner and just say, I got a bum body. I'm just going to sit this life out. No, but so many people do that. So on our future shows, we will be giving you some interesting tools here to actually change this at an energetic level. As tonight is an intro, we're just trying to give you the feel of it and really help you guys understand what's possible, kind of like tantalizing energy, as Chelsea's not very good at. She can be very tantalizing. If you want to look that up in Wikipedia, you'll find out more about it. Tantalizing. I don't know what that means. I apparently have turned into an Indian man. So, Chelsea, back to you. What are other ways of touching?
Other ways of touching. It's so funny. Especially, have you ever been with a partner, you're with a romantic partner, and you're willing to look at their body with this like absolutely no judgment. You just think they're like the prettiest, coolest, most handsome person in the whole world, at least in that 10 seconds. They're in your presence. And so at that point, how often are people willing to touch somebody else's body? And with that care and like that sexual, like there's like a sexualness to it, isn't there? There's like this nice saucy intimacy with it. And imagine if you could flip that on your body. Like, how much fun could you have if you were able don't start with the mirror. You might not want to do it with the mirror. You could stand in front of the mirror, butt naked and try it and try to look at yourself like other people probably have looked at you in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more about just the willingness to have that time with yourself. And then when you can spend quality time with yourself, even just sitting, it could be meditating, but it could be just sitting, then you can start to ask questions like, body, how do you like to be touched? And it's almost automatic. You won't get an answer, but you'll get like an awareness. Either it's your hands, maybe they'll start touching maybe a part on your knee gently.
Or
maybe
the person's knee next to you, perhaps. Is that
that too. That too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I love this whole access consciousness stuff, this whole asking questions, and then you can get an awareness so that you can keep making choices and getting more awarenesses. Just about get to know your body as if it was as if you were on a first date. Hey, buddy, what do you like eating?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite color, body? What do you like to wear?
What are you doing later? What do you say we go out and maybe I'll take advantage of you? Or something like that.
Depends on what relationship you choose.
Right. You might want to have a talk with your body. And that's a lot of what this podcast is for. It's about creating a different relationship or paradigm with your body. Because honestly, you have to ask yourself, like Chelsea was leading to, and all of Access revolves around, which is if you were to create your life from question and acknowledge that every time you ask a question, you will become more aware of other things. What questions would you ask your body? What questions would you like to ask your body? If it was your best friend, your mate, your lover, your person that you always trusted no matter what questions would you ask that person? And what if that was your body? Like for me, first thing I like to ask myself in the morning is like, okay, pal, what do you want me to do? You want to take me on a walk? What do you want to do? And it took some practice for sure, because doing that, especially coming from, an American culture, which is a very heady place, and there's plenty of others of differing, headiness, if you will. But the being in your head all the time does, how much does that actually include the rest of your body? It's like, oh, I'm just a bobbing head on the screen. And how much is that turned into your body where you're not even aware of your body till it's the end of the day and you're worn out and it's hungry and it's screaming going, oh my God, we didn't even eat today and you didn't take me for a walk. So I like to ask it, what would it like to do first thing in the morning, especially if it's possible, and I revolve my schedule around it. And through the day, as my body is my best friend, it's always also a being. It's a being. It's no different than you. You're an infinite being, and it's a body being. How cool is that to acknowledge? And you get to commune with it. You are like in the biggest lovemaking session possibility that has never happened on the planet between two other bodies that could possibly happen. You live inside your body and around it, and you penetrate it and proliferate it. And you can be totally aware of everything that's going on with it if you're willing to listen.
See, I think that's the part that Matthew just brought up, is the listening part. So how many people out there have so many thoughts and feelings and emotions going on that it starts to drown out? Your body's like, but there's all this other white noise and other noise blocking it out so that you can barely even hear it talking. So then all of a sudden your body's like, fine then, you know what? You're not going to listen to me. I'm going to create a bunch of pain because you're not listening. So I'm going to get mad and I'm going to, here's some disease. I don't know. Here's a cold, for instance. So your body aches and pains so much so that you finally bring it to a massage therapist, perhaps. But what if it wasn't until that last minute of excruciating pain that you'd be willing to listen to your body? What if you could listen to your body when it's just whispering, hey, I'd like a glass of water, please?
and a 6-pack of Coke and 2 Snickers bars, and can we go to the bathroom to eat them and drink them? I just want to be away from everybody.
Yeah.
All at once, please. I don't want to wait.
No.
Please. And aside from the funny part of that, it's like, what would happen if you got up in the morning, if you were willing? Here's a little exercise for all you folks, just to see that you can try tomorrow. What if you got up tomorrow and you spent 10, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is, and you let your body take you for a walk and followed the energy of exactly what your body with? How much more would that expand the possibilities of what you could actually know about your body, your mate? And we've been talking about your body and your mate and your lover and your primary life partner and everything. And how good can your relationships be with anyone else when your number one connectivity to everything in this reality, the reason you came here to have a body, isn't really that stellar? So you could have a lot more of those isn't really that stellar relationships. And how many of us actually are working on them all the time, trying to fix them, change them, heal them, make them better? But in the background, if we just took care of this space, what would it take for you to touch yourself today question in a different way, in a new way, in a greater depth, how much would that change your entire reality?
And it's so funny because you were talking about following the energy, and I had somebody, like, I'll teach access bars classes and have people ask me what following the energy feels like what does that feel like? And I sit there and think, well, I'm not in your body, so I'm not going to perceive it the same way that you perceive it. But for me, I get like these light little tingles, like they're so little, and it comes all the way up through my legs, and it comes and tickles around the back of my neck. It's just like, hey, we're gonna go walking this way. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, body, what's over there that you'd like? And it's just these really, really gentle tingles that I get. What about you, Matt? What do you get? How does your body show it?
Mine's a little different. I'm in a guy body, so most of the time a rock falls out of the sky or something, it hits me on the head. And it's like, ooh, I really get that. No. It's similar. I don't really think there's a tremendous difference between the genders by any means, except for your points of view on how you actually do it. But when I get up in the morning, I mean, I can't tell you how many mornings in my life I've got up and felt like a little bit like 500 pounds of poop. Your body's spent all night communing with a whole bunch of who knows what while you're out and about doing something different. And you come back in and you're just like, and those are the moments that I use to my advantage, because immediately I'm like, okay, what do I need to know here, body? What is this? What can I change about it? What would actually immediately change it into something else that actually is playful for me? And 9 times out of 10.
Oh, did Matthew? He might have froze. So we're going to wait for him.
Okay.
He froze there, Matt.
Am I back?
He was so energetic that he and his body froze the screen.
Am I back yet?
You're back. You're grainy, but you're back. Okay. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks, other body co-host. I appreciate you covering my back. Maybe a good scratch on the back. I'll return to you soon. So what was I talking about? Oh, so if you ever get up in the morning and you're a little bit on the heavy side of things, my body, my partner is like the first thing I want to ask. I'm like, all right, well, what is this and what do we need to do? And often it's like, we're going to be shoveling a lot of doo-doo today. And I'm like, and the easiest way to do this would be to go water skiing. Let's go water skiing to get started. So I like to do really exciting activities, skydiving, flying airplanes, water skiing, or doing body work on other people. They're all in the same category, as funny as that may sound. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the call. The reason is there's such an infusion of energy that I have to pull into my body to be that extra level of presence, to be like on a water ski, because I don't want to kill my body. I don't want to spend 47 years getting another body back to this point so I can try it again and then fall off, a cliff or something. I want to have fun. And so all that energy just gets pulled in, and it literally just doesn't allow any room for all of the rest of the stuff that's going on that wasn't very fun for you, because your body has to expand out and expand out and expand out as you pour more energy into it, as you pull more energy into it. You may pull it in through your feet or through your head or your hands. You may pull it in through your pants. Who knows? Maybe you're a very different person. And when you pull that energy in, that was a good smell. When you pull that energy in, it's inevitable that you have to occupy more space. Now, if your 500-pound pile of poo happens to be 6 foot tall, and you change from 6 feet to 6,000 feet of space, how much is that, that poo pile going to actually affect you anymore? More or less? Well, it's going to be less. And the best part about this is you don't have to change anything anymore. You just have to choose what makes you come alive and do it, and ask your body for help. Hey, how much faster, funner, quicker, more excitably can we jump into this so that we can actually create the future that we want? Oh, that's the other thing. I ask my body all the time, what future does it want to create? Which is a great one in this morning, because it gets so excited. Sometimes I've arrived at work without putting my clothes on because it was so excited. I didn't think it was that important.
Imagine if you were so excited. I'm sorry, that paused on possibly the best screen of Matt ever. I hope he gets to see this. But imagine if you were so excited about life and living that you literally woke up, forgot to get dressed because you were so ready to start the day. Imagine what that would look like. Because if you can tell from my voice, I'm a pretty excited person. So excitement is not something that I have a problem with at all. You froze a little bit there, Matt. So I was talking about excitement, though, little kids, when you talk to a little kid and you ask them what their favorite anything is, that look in their eyes when they light up and talk about the thing, like their cat, and the cat makes them so happy, or maybe something they did at school that day. And so trying to invite that kind of presence in, oh my God, I went to work today and it was so much fun. Imagine what that would look like, regardless of what job that you guys all do out there, that you could actually go to work and have the point of view, oh my God, I'm going to have so much fun and my body's going to take me there and we're going to have so much fun regardless of who chooses it. Because sometimes, I don't know if you've noticed, happiness gets a little judged around planet Earth, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Would you be willing to just, receive that judgment and go out with your body, be present with it, and in all the excitement and happiness and joy, and let that show up and let that guide you, rather than the heaviness and the poo and that you could follow that sense of excitement. That maybe when somebody asks me, a client, Chelsea, what should I do with my life? Well, what if it's not about what you do with your life more than what you be? So it's more about being the space. That's kind of what Matthew's talking about, that expansive, you're molecules. All of this, it's just molecules. So all you have to do is kind of get in touch with every little last one of them and just be that and bring in joy and just pull it and pull it and pull it and pull it from things that make you happy, and then have gratitude. Because when you have gratitude, you bring more of it. It just comes back tenfold. It's 100-fold, godzillion-fold.
Yeah, gratitude's great that way, huh, Chelsea? Yeah, that's good. Well, on that same thing, on that same note, another thing that really changes me up is actually doing body work. So I've been an avid body worker since my late teens. And inside of that, there was an acknowledgement that I didn't know till many years later, was that this is actually what was going to help me come alive and going to deepen my experience with me and my primary partner, my body, and actually bring that awareness to me that, oh, wow, this is why I'm here. I'm here to have a body. And so how that works is there's a level of presence I have to have to assist, help, or facilitate somebody, whether it's deep fascial muscle change, or whether it's running energetic processes from access, that I've got to be 3, 4, 5, 10 times as much space and awareness as the person I'm working on to actually help them. And how much does that contribute to your relationship to you and your body, and your willingness to touch and be touched by your body in the presence that it is? So don't get any body work, folks. It's not very fun. And your body
No. And it's funny because when you're a practitioner or a person that works with bodies all the time, you get to see so many different ways that bodies show up. And what I've kind of noticed, because I've been doing this for a long time, since I was a little kid, but professionally for a while now, what I've noticed, the more bodies that I get to touch and commune with and actually see that are actually lying on this table, it's like, oh my God, they are all so different. And how cool is that? Like, I just would love the world to acknowledge how cool their unique body is. Like, it's unique. It's the only one. And how cool is that? Like, that to me is the magic of bodies. It's how all the capacities that they have, how they look, how they show up, like what they can do, from, what they can do maybe in a fitness kind of capacity, or maybe what they can do in a energetic capacity, or anything. Like, it could be so many things. And that is kind of the honor of getting to do the work that Matthew and I do, even though it's so different.
I love to listen to Chelsea talk about her stories of when she goes to the gym, and as her brother's also a gym fitness fellow, and just hear about her excitement about the way he is with bodies. Like, oh my God, and this and that, and he does all these crazy things. I can't believe it's possible. And like, wow. And she gets so much excitement, and how much that is her own internal, excitement levels, just like going off the scale at a body level, going, wow, yeah, let's do that. Let's try that. Or at least once, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, should we give them a tool or something to take home from the call so they can actually see what's different and what they could actually change up with touch?
Oh, let's give them a tool.
A tool.
What tool? There's so many.
Oh, hey, I'll tell you what, hey, I'll give you a tool, right? Yeah, right. One I like to do is I start with myself, because it's the one that causes the most, that I'm aware of the most resistance. And so pull your sleeve back. And would you be willing to take your hand and slowly, gently allow all the skin on your one hand, as it slowly wraps around the other hand, as slow as you can, actually come in total contact with yourself. And then say, hi, hand. Hi, arm. Oh, hi, hand. Hi, both your hands. Yeah, right? And then bring your hands in front of you and just say, hi. And what happens when you say hi to your hands? Mine turn into huge Dumbo hands. They grow like 300 times, and they turn in and they're talking as fast as you can even guess. They're just like, oh, come on, let's do something fun. And there's so much awareness. Now, I don't literally mean talking, but they start buzzing and everything, because your body is just waiting for you like a puppy to take it for a walk so it can go out and lick some legs and pee on some shoes maybe, or something.
I love that. And then this is why Matthew and I are so good together. See, this is why I like Matthew. If you take that and you go from looking at your hands, and then you go and you just touch your knees just on your legs, and just touch them.
You want to touch your knees?
Ooh, you can touch my knees. A little energetic knee touching.
It's a little far away, but
But if you go and you just touch your knees and then you take a couple deep breaths, like actual breathing in oxygen, what comes up for you? What do you sense? What are you aware of? What's your body trying to tell you when you just look at it or have your hands on it?
Well, I'm aware my hands are like what I create with, kind of like a spoon is something you eat with. And so when I put them on my knees, the rest of my body between my hands and my shoulders and everything in between just become much more alive and vibrant.
I mean, how cool is that? If you could do that, say, if you'd be willing to play with that tool that Matthew just shared and that I just shared, if you'd be willing to play with that maybe in the morning, before, after the shower, or maybe before you go to bed, just sit on the edge of your bed and just like, oh my God, this is so cool. You're like, oh my God.
What she said. Okay, here's my other one. I do this every morning, especially when if for some reason I might happen to wake up feeling pathetic. And by the way, if you wake up feeling pathetic, it's because you're becoming more aware. It's not because you're more pathetic. I promise you. Okay, so taking both your hands and place both your hands on your face and just say thank you. Breathe. And be the energy of expression of just like such a level of gratitude for your body, because who would you be without a body here? You'd be a fart. And farts, although they drive lots of people away quickly, they don't have they can't vote.
That's true.
They can't touch except in the weirdest ways. And they can't have sex. And would you like to fart, vote, and have sex? These are real questions you have to ask yourself.
How much of a relief is that?
Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. You're funny. All right, folks. Well, are we ready to wrap this up, Chelsea?
Yeah. Now, is there anything that you have, Matt, going on? Matt and I both, we travel, we teach classes, we do different types of sessions and invitations. What do you have going on?
Oh, you know what? I just realized I have going on is I didn't ask everybody if they had any questions, so I'm going to write that out. Does anyone have any questions that they would like? I'm saying this also as I'm typing it to you in case you don't get it, that they would like to air. If you guys watch on your little webinar jam on the right, you'll see there. All the little questions will pop up. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so let's talk about, what I'm doing is, as I said, I love to do body work, and I'm also a photographer. Body work and access classes and being an access certified facilitator is my key, because these are, they're not everything I do, but this is the medium of work that no matter what I apply it to, it creates everything is better. It creates the change that's impossible. That was impossible before I actually was able to ask the question. So huge gratitude for these and tremendous excitement to spread them and share them and work with other people. One of the things that works for me really well is I have a lot of energy that moves through my body just because the life I'm choosing is to do a lot of travel. So I get to move around a lot and do a lot of body work and teach classes. My most exciting class, Chelsea, that's coming up soon, is called Your Body, Your Primary Life Partner. I haven't heard that a few times in different pieces during the call. And I'm doing that in New Delhi, India on November 24th and 25th. And Aradhana is going to be my host, and I'm really excited about that. You can find out more about that if you're interested on my Facebook page on my Facebook page primarily, or on mattbochsler.com. I will be starting some foundation and level 1 classes in LA and San Diego shortly also. So looking forward to moving some bodies and changing some worlds down there through body work.
That's so exciting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You're taking your body on a trip.
I know. hopefully my life will continue to be a trip.
Oh, and how lucky is that's going to be such a fun. I don't know if anybody out there ever travels because it's almost like taking your body, like we said, take your body for a walk. When you're traveling, it's lights my body up. I can say that. I don't know. You'll have to ask your body. Where does it want to go?
There's so many other things that you don't have to hang on to because you've left your familiar environments. And so your body's just like, yay, play, I'm 3, wee, woo. And you get to actually receive all that at such a level. I mean, it's so much easier for me personally to be a traveling, transformational catalyst than it is to be a static one. Now, everyone's different. Everyone has these wildly different and unique points of view that create their reality. So don't hear that that's saying that you're supposed to go be a traveling vacuum cleaner salesman or preacher or whatever, but you can if you want, really. I love that. So, So what about you, Chelsea? Didn't you say something about a sex class you have coming up?
We were talking about being, intimate with your body and that. So on Saturday, so we've got like not even in a week in Prince George, BC, I've got a sex and relationship class. So I am going to be helping people facilitate more sexualness into their bodies, clearing everywhere the trauma, abuse, blah, blah, the wah of all that heaviness, all that pile of crap with sex and relationships that they've ever experienced in this and other lives, because you got other ones too. This is the only one. You got that. So we're going to clear all of that. Yeah, and I'm doing all of it.
Wow. I might have to come up for that class.
Oh, I am so excited. So that's wildrosewellness.net if you want more information and all that jazz.
Wildrosewellness.net. Awesome. So do I have to be having sex or be in a relationship to take the class?
No, and we're not actually having copulation in the class because I've actually had emails about that. So no, there's
what did they say? Like, will we be copulating?
People are like, do I have to be naked? If your body wants to, maybe we can talk about that, what your body actually needs for the class. But yeah, it's different hands-on body processes from access consciousness because we talked about touch today. The body does love to be touched. And so when you go to any access class, you end up getting your body touched by like-minded people, usually people that are coming from that same place that you're trying to create from. And it's this absolute communion. Like, I would have never thought I would go to a class of like 200 people and let people that I just met touch my body. But you totally do when you go to these classes. Like,
right.
And it feels so delicious when you have somebody who is willing to be a space and a nurturing and that caring and kindness for you and your body, and really just be present with your body as they touch you. It's so magical.
Doesn't it? Yeah, exactly. When there's like no second agenda, there's no first agenda. It's literally like reaching down to hold a child's hand in your whole body. How many times have you done that to go for a walk? And it's just like your body's like, and that kid's like, wow, you really need this, don't you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything else?
No, I'm good. Does anybody else out there, do they have questions?
Oh yeah, let's see if we got any questions.
They're quiet.
Questions. Okay, they are a quiet bunch, but nevertheless. Okay. We're good. Well, we will be broadcasting next week also. Same time, which is 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and 10 p.m. Eastern. So that covers most of the North American continent. Now, if you'd like to watch this from Australia or any of the other continents, when you actually go to register, before you even register, there's a link when it pops up and says, if you want to register, click here for time in your zone. So you can decide and be in total choice whether you want to register for the call. This is weekly. It's free. The only thing we ask of you is your name and your email address so we can send you future updates on our sex, relationship, and touchy-wutchy stuff. And how much fun does it get? Chelsea, dear, I love you. Don't take it personally, but I love you. And thank you so much for co-hosting with me today. And watch our Facebook feed, and we'll talk to you a little bit about next week's content. And if anyone on the call does come up with questions or comments, we would love to hear them. Please send them to them. And you can send them to info@mattbochsler.com, or Chelsea's email address
is chelsea@wildrosewellness.net.
.net. I like that. Sound like a chipmunk. .net.
.net.
Yes, I am an Italian chipmunk speaking. Okay, awesome, folks. Love you all, and thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.